Due to human intervention as well as degradation of artist materials, objects sometimes look very different from what they did when they were made. Here at Newfields, we have a science lab that helps us better understand how physical objects change over time. Pere Valle was an artist in Catalonia in the early 15th century. These works would have been part of a giant medieval altarpiece that would have stood at the front of a church. They would have been the bottom portion of the altarpiece, which was called the banco, or predella in Italian. And we can actually see how they were used in worship with some physical evidence on the panels. We see some evidence of that, which is a burn mark, where obviously a candle got a little bit too close to the painting. These panels have what's called gilding in both gold and silver. That's where metal leaf was applied to the background. Onto the gold, punchwork was made, which have beautiful decorative elements to create the halos of the figures. In addition, St. Michael's suit of armor used to be silver. Now it looks sort of brown and mucky. In addition to the sparkling gilding, these works would have been much, much more colorful. So here we have a red dress of Mary Magdalene, and you might observe some rather strange black marks. This is a degradation effect. Here on St. Stephen, we also have a very different image than what would have originally been painted. If you look at this microscopic image, you can see how the robe would have originally had a beautiful ornate brocade. You can also see at the bottom, there's green glazing over beautiful gold brocade, and this is all degraded pretty significantly. When we took a cross-section, which is a tiny sample from the painting, to look at what the pigments originally looked like, this blue robe would have been a much brighter, more vibrant blue, but it's darkened over time, unfortunately. So you might wonder how these panels went from being in a Catalan church to being here in Indianapolis as two separate pieces. Well, unfortunately, in the 19th century, these works were cut apart and sold on the art market as individual vignettes because people could get more money for them. If you look at the edge, you can actually see where a power saw has cut an original nail, and there's a cross-section of that big metal nail. So I hope this has shown you how studying the physical history of objects and the physical object themselves can give us clues as to what an object would have looked like when it was first made.